that's definitely a low blood sugar situation, and usually the person also has insulin resistance, whereby the insulin, which is like the key, is not connecting into the cell anymore because the person's many years of eating carbs or frequent meals. Okay, so I mean, what's happening when you're living on carbs is that you feel better after you eat the carbs, but then it goes right back down. Now you're hungry again, up and down, so you never really stabilize the blood sugar, and it creates more insulin resistance. Okay, so the way you know that you have a problem is you can't go from one meal to the next without feeling kind of moody or irritable or craving sweets.
Eric Berg, the Northern Virginia chiropractor who specializes in weight loss, is still on YouTube, still preaching carbohydrates cause insulin resistance and carbs cause type 2 diabetes, neither of which is true. He backs up this unsubstantiated misdirection by inviting you to engage in generalized self-observations, like being irritable in between meals and craving sweets. By the way, both of which are commonly experienced by people attempting to go on a low-carb diet.
Because the person's many years of eating carbs or frequent meals, okay, so that creates a resistance against insulin. It doesn't go in there, and then that doesn't open the door for the sugar to go into the cell. So it's harder and harder to absorb sugar, thereby it's harder to regulate sugar, and then you're needing more sugar to create that effect, okay?
Blaming carbohydrates for insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes is a typical strategy of the low-carb diet promoters. And quite honestly, it's very effective at misinforming an audience that's largely uninitiated in the more nuanced understandings of diet and nutrition in the human body. We know now, through the use of sophisticated MRIs, that prediabetes and type 2 diabetes are caused by a drop in insulin sensitivity blamed on intramyocellular lipid or the buildup of fat inside our muscle tissue.
Also do a little more fat at the meal. So whether it's a peanut butter or nuts or coconut butter or coconut oil or avocado or brie cheese at the meal, enough to go from one meal to the next. The worst mistake you can make is eat too many carbs, or especially the grains, the bread, the rice, all that.
Unfortunately, Eric Berg's audience doesn't get a chance to understand insulin resistance because he only provides a dumbed-down explanation which allows him to continue to recommend an irresponsible, low-carb, high-fat diet that's unproven in the long term. In 2017, we actually know that carbohydrate consumption is inversely related to diabetes. In this study, consumption of both sugar and starch were not related to the risk of diabetes, and consumption of fructose and glucose, which are commonly found in fruits, were associated with a lower risk of diabetes.
The worst mistake you can make is eat too many carbs, or especially the grains, the bread, the rice, all that, or the juice, because that's going to just really drop it further down. So